Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Dori, I'm a teacher of English, and today we're going to talk about the top 15 reading tips for IELTS. I know that lots of you ask me about these questions, so without further ado, let's get started. So, tip number 1, time yourself. Start timing yourself from the very beginning of your practice. Lots of students at the very beginning of their practice take their time with the practice tests until they feel a little bit more confident. However, when they start timing themselves after some time, they panic because they're used to different timing and they don't have enough time during these 60 minutes. So don't make the same mistake. One of the most challenging parts of reading is timing, so start timing yourself from the very beginning and try to get used to it. Spend approximately 20 minutes in each passage, and please remember that this is part of your practice too, and as important as finding the correct answer. Tip number 2, familiarize yourself with the tasks. Before you start practicing, it is a good idea to start to check out a little bit the tasks that you may encounter during your IELTS reading practice test. Get to know a little bit what they ask you to do, what you need to do, what strategy you should follow in each task. I have videos for each and every task in reading, so these videos may help you with that. In this way, you will instantly recognize them when you see them. You will know what you have to do in each task without wasting any time, and you will be even more confident, which is vital. The different tasks you may encounter in your reading practice are quite a lot, so please don't skip this step because it is very important, as it will save you time in the long run. Tip number 3. Do not read everything. This is extremely important. You do not have time to read each and every word of the passages. It is impossible. Lots of students tell me, well, this is impossible. How can I answer to all these questions without having read the texts? Well, do you know what's impossible? To actually be able to read word per word 3 challenging passages of 900 words each, to be able to read and find the correct answers to 40 questions, and then to have even more times per time to transfer your answers to the separate answer sheets. That's what's impossible. So you have to change a little bit your traditional idea of reading and regarding IELTS, and start practicing the texts without reading them word per word. Instead, you should practice by using different reading techniques. How can you do that? Well, this leads us to our next tip. Tip number 4, skimming. Well, I'm sure that you have heard skimming before, but do you use it the right way? Because if the idea of skimming you have is just reading here and there a little bit just for the gist of the text, this is not a reading technique, this is a chaos. So what you need to do, very briefly, is read the title, read the first paragraph very quickly just to get an idea of the text, then read and underline the first 2 lines, only the first 2 lines of each paragraph, and then you can read the last paragraph as well. While you practice enough with skimming, you will be able to recognize some keywords in between paragraphs, but it may take some time. For the beginning, you can do just this. If you want more details about skimming and how you can practice skimming the right way, please check this video over here. Tip number 5, scanning. Scanning is another reading technique that complements skimming and will really help you. So what's the difference with skimming? Skimming helps you to get an idea, to get the gist of the text, but scanning helps you to locate the exact answer. Just like you try to find a word in a dictionary, this is what scanning is. You have read the questions, you know what you're looking for, and you go to the text to find it. In the example of the dictionary, you know the word you're looking for, so you go to the exact letter in order to search for it. Okay? This is what you do. You know what you're looking for, and you go to the text, and the underlining that you have done during the skimming process helps you to locate the correct answer. For more details on how you can use skimming and scanning effectively, please watch this video over here for both reading techniques that will save you time and will teach you how you can answer correctly without reading all the texts word per word. Tip number 6, always read the instructions carefully. This may sound a little bit self-explanatory, but it is not, because sometimes when you have done lots of practice tests and when you know the tasks, you go straight away to answer the questions. But please be careful, always read the instructions and check out the word limit you have. Because if you exceed the words limit, you will lose points, valuable points, even if you have answered correctly. So, for example, if the instructions say no more than 2 words and or a number, please try to keep it that way. And don't start writing whatever you want, okay? Don't get too carried away. Even in multiple choice tasks, sometimes they ask you to find 2 correct answers instead of only 1, which is more common, okay? So always read the instructions carefully. Tip number 7, underline keywords. This is equally important in both the texts and the questions. You underline keywords to help you through the skimming process and when you read the questions. Basically, you underline easily recognizable words such as dates, terminology, which means words that cannot be easily paraphrased, names, and numbers. In the questions, you always underline what you need to search for in the text, because sometimes you may get confused during the process, so always underline what you're looking for. Tip number 8, be careful of paraphrasing. This is where most mistakes happen in IELTS. They happen due to paraphrasing. Usually they use the same words both in the text and the questions in order to confuse you. So try to focus and concentrate on same meanings rather than same words, okay? Try to go beyond the words and understand the meaning of the texts and the passages and the questions. You can understand how paraphrasing works a little bit better in this video over here. Tip number 9, the order of the text. This is really important. The good news is that nearly in all tasks, the order of the questions is the same as the order you will find the answers in the text. For example, the answer to the first question will be found first in the text. The answer to the second question will be found second in the text, and so on and so forth, okay? This is really useful when you have found the first answer, let's just say, and the third one, so you know that the answer to the second question will be in between, okay? This is the good news. The bad news is that this doesn't take place necessarily in all tasks. Be careful of tasks like map labeling, diagram labeling, or even some completion tasks where the order of the questions and the answers is not necessarily the same as they will be found in the text. Tip number 10, don't get stuck on words you don't know. Please don't make this mistake, it will waste valuable time. Don't focus on separate words, focus on meanings. So if you don't know a word, please move on with it, read a little bit further, you will probably get the meaning from the context around it, okay? So don't worry about that and don't dwell on words or questions you don't understand and you don't know. Move on with it. A video that will help you with some quick tips of what you can do when you don't know a word is this video over here. Tip number 11. Be careful with grammar mistakes. Even if it is a reading passage or task or whatever, you still need to be careful with your grammar mistakes. For example, when you give an answer to a question, especially if it is a gap-filling question, a completion task, you should make sure that the answer you give fits both grammatically and syntactically with the rest of the sentence. Okay? Specifically for completion tasks, you cannot change the word you found in the text to something different. For example, if you found a noun in the text, and in order you think this is the correct answer, but in order to fit it grammatically in the sentence, you have to make it a verb, then probably you have made a mistake, so please check out your answer again. Okay, you cannot change the words you found in the text. You should copy them exactly as you found them. Tip number 12, be careful of your spelling. You still need to be careful of your spelling mistakes because you lose points for that too. Try to improve your spelling and keep in mind that most words can be found in the text. So make sure before you copy them, make sure that you write them correctly as you have found them in the text. Tip 13. Find your own technique. What do I mean by that? Try to find your own technique that works best for you. Some students start first with the text and then they move on with the questions. Some other students start straight away from the questions and then move on with the text. There is no right or wrong way. Both of these techniques work very well for the students. So you have to work it out a little bit and see what works best for you. Choose a technique and try to be consistent with it because it will save you valuable time in the future with your practice and with your timing. Tip number 14, read a lot in English. The more you read in English, the better you're going to be in the reading examination. Start with reading articles about the things you love, about your interests, about your hobbies. And you can find numerous articles online about things you are interested in and read about them in English. In this way, you're gonna be practicing and have fun at the same time. Tip number 15, enjoy yourself. Last but not least, as weird as it sounds, this is equally important with all the rest. If you start moaning and groaning about the exam, this is not going to get you very far. The only one you're going to harm is yourself, not Cambridge. So try to see the exam as a game, as a quiz, or as a quest that you have to fulfill. So your attitude plays a major role with the exam, and it will greatly help you if you see it that way. So these were my top 15 tips, and I really do hope they will help you. Put them in practice right away, and you will see a difference in your score instantly, I believe. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it helps. If this is your first time here, I would like to see you subscribe for more videos related to English. If you have any questions or comments, you can ask me here or on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and of course my website. All links are down below. Thank you very much for watching again. Take care. Bye-bye.